Welcome to day 4 of Greek 2 here at Bryan College. We're not meeting today because of snow. We'll meet via YouTube. So we're reading 17, 117 to 22. Do study the vocab, but again, you don't have to take the test. We'll just do the reading as our test today. And let me pull this up. I just need to get my monitor to correspond, so not exactly sure why that does that, but it looks like it's working now. So 117, Kai apen altois ha Iesus, and the Jesus. So with proper names in Greek, you can have the definite article or lack it. There doesn't seem to be a rule when to do it and when to not, but the Jesus and the Jesus said to them, "Come after me." So this is the standard discipleship terminology. So he's calling them to be formal disciples here. Kai epoi eso humas genestai, halies anthropon. Come after me, and I will make you to become fishers of people. So this is anthropos in the sense of human beings. Kai euthus, and straightway. Aphientes, so this is going to be your aorist active participle from aphiemi. It has that strange ending, if you remember when we did the me verbs. So this is just the aorist active participle. And straightway, having thrown out the nets, they followed him. And so this is a koleutheo, standard discipleship word. 19, kai probos oligon, and having gone forward a little bit, Aden Iakobu, he saw Jacob. Now, for some reason in English, we nearly always translate Jacob as James. It would be impossible to change now, I think. Who would buy a Bible that had the book of Jacob in it? But that's the word in Greek. We miss a little bit of the biblical theology of this, I think, by doing it James, but it is Jacob. And having gone forward a little, he saw Jacob, the son of Zebedee, and Ioannes, his brother. So the grace of the Lord. Kai altus into ploio, and they were in the boat. Kat artizantas ta dictua. Mending their nets. It's interesting that Mark's version of this story agrees completely with Luke's version. Luke tells us that before Jesus made the formal call, that he caused such a miraculous catch of fish that the nets were broken and the two boats began to sink. Mark doesn't tell us that, but does confirm that they were trying to put their nets back together when Jesus called them. Kai euthus ekalesin altus, and he called them. Kai aphientes ton patera auton, and having left their father Zebediah into ploio, in the boat, metaton misthoton, with the hired help, Abaelthon episo autu. They went off after him. Kai eis paruantai, and they went forth. Eis kafar naum. So this is a really interesting word to me. When you pull up the lexicon, it's from Kefer Nahum. So this is just Nahum. So it's the village of Nahum, which that is really interesting to me in that Nahum was the prophet to the Ninevites who followed Jonah. And his name means comfort, but the book of Nahum is just kind of one judgment, long judgment. And it's interesting, if Nazareth and Jonah's hometown are virtually the same place, that Jesus moves his ministry from Nazareth to Kefer Nahum, and yet Jesus is able to preach peace. And so I wonder if there's something going on in terms of biblical theology there. But Kai eis paruantai eis Capernaum, and they went into Capernaum. Kai euthus toi sabasin, and straightway on the Sabbath. So this is a little strange that it's plural, but Zerwick's giving us on the seventh day. I've always been a little confused why it's plural, unless it's emphasizing the imperfect nature here. He straightway on the Sabbath. I suppose we could look at the text comparison here. On the Sabbath. It looks like most people are doing it as a singular. I don't really see anybody who's doing it as a plural. Straightway on the Sabbath, having gone into the synagogue, he kept teaching them. Kai ex pleisanta, and they were amazed. They kept on being amazed. That's an imperfect as well. On his teaching, for he was teaching them. This is a paraphrastic. You've got your imperfect plus the present participle. He kept teaching them as one having authority, and not like the scribes. So pretty interesting section. If we go to BiblePlaces.com, we can actually see the actual place, and it's interesting. It's just a tiny little place by the sea. This octagonal structure is a church that's built over the place that's been revered as Peter's house for since probably 100 A.D. This is the synagogue of Capernaum, and this synagogue is shortly after the time of Jesus, and it's built over a previous synagogue. So when it talks about the synagogue in Capernaum, this is the actual place they're talking about. this is the house of Peter, and so they left the ruins. The house of Peter had been turned into a church, and then they built this octagonal church over the top of it, which um, I don't know, it's not the prettiest church I've ever seen, but it is built over the top of Peter's house. And so it's interesting that we have access to where these miracles happen. And we're going to see in Mark that a lot happens at Capernaum. And so you might want to navigate to BiblePlaces.com, and it will give you an insight. When we look at the parable of the sower, it talks about the place where that happened, and there's a very unusual acoustic phenomenon just to the left of that picture of Capernaum, where one person can speak in a normal tone of voice and communicate to thousands of people, but we'll see that when we get there. Let me know when you have been able to watch this video, and I'll give you the attendance points for today. I hope you have a good rest of the day and weekend, and look forward to face-to-face classes on Monday. See you then.